Welcome into Bearcats Daily. Happy Monday, everybody. I am your host, Blake Thornton, and welcome back. Beautiful weekend here in Cincinnati. I hope you all got to go outside and enjoy some of that beautiful weather. Just phenomenal. Great weather for man. I hope you all got to enjoy it. Meanwhile, our baseball squad from UC was out at Kansas State over the weekend, and they went ahead and handled business. Friday and Saturday got wins to clinch the series, 4-2 and 5-3. That moves their record to 35-17 on the season, 15-11 in the Big 12, and they are rolling at the right time going into the tournament. They are ranked 20th currently. That hopefully will come out and go up even higher. Still projected as a 2 seed for the tournament. I'd love to see them win out and have a shot at hosting a regional here in Cincinnati. I think that would be not only beneficial for the school, but the city as well, especially getting to host a super regional in the College World Series. It would be very interesting to see. So time will tell. They are 17-11 as a road team, so they're obviously getting it done both at home and on the road, which you do have to do. Good teams win both at home and on the road. So hopefully that continues. They are on an 8-game winning streak. That will be their longest since 2016. They got to 10 games in a row back in 2016. So obviously, just those 2 wins alone over the weekend, getting them to 8. They're thriving at the right time, and they're keeping moving forward. Guys are breaking records. We're hitting accolades. Quentin Coates homered on Saturday night, hitting his 25th of the season, and that does extend his school record for home runs, and also climbing nationally in the ranks, still a top 5 hitter, power hitter in the entire NCAA. So we got guys hitting the ball. Our bullpen is playing great, but I tell you what, I got to give props to the outfield. They have robbed in the last 2 weeks. They brought back 4 home runs, would have been multi-run home runs that they have brought back into the field. They're playing great defense, they're hitting well, and their pitching just is lights out. So that needs to continue. UC has now got the best winningest stretch of a 3-year season. As a squad. They've surpassed the 99-01 and 06-08 for most wins in a 3-year stretch under Jordan Bichelle. He did get his 100th win at the helm of UC as well on Saturday night. Congrats to him on that accolade, and hope for many more as we continue forward. Personally, get out a blank check and let him put down whatever he wants. Keep him in Cincinnati. Do what you can. The man has built a great program. They lost their 2 best players last season, and they have outperformed that team this year. Give the man money. Pay the man. Keep him in town. Do whatever you got to do, because Lord knows we need to have as best coaches as we can and keep them around to keep building programs. As we have discussed, continuity at the coaching staff is a big part of keeping guys in the building and getting recruits as well. Everything's for the taking for the baseball team. I hope they continue success. I'll keep updating you on the show as time goes. Hopefully we have more and more good news for you in that department as well. Now we're going to spin onto the football side of things. We've really gone over the quarterback turnover. We've gone over some of the receivers, some of the O-linemen, the coaches. But the one thing we haven't really touched on much has been the running back room. And it's an interesting dynamic because under Satterfield, typically UC does a run by committee for his running back room. Now, obviously, you don't really think of many names that come to mind other than Corey Kiner, Evan Pryor, because they were the lead back. They definitely earned that. Kiner especially came out and really did a job to where he was going to get the majority of the carries. And I remember we had Montgomery in there as well at one point as a running back. They've had guys that can obviously move the football. However, typically there's been a 1 or 2 punch at running back because that's just what it called for. But they've always had multiple running backs in the room. Evan Pryor obviously did head out of town. He's at Florida now. And we've got 4 running backs in the building. 3 of them are transfers and 1 is returning. The one that is returning is redshirt freshman, Zion Johnson. He is the smallest running back in the group at about 5'8". Now, is that a bad thing? No. He's obviously very quick, but where his size to me kind of comes into play is the pass sets. Running backs got to be able to step up into the line and basically take on a blitzing linebacker, take a free runner, and they've got to be able to get that block in. So, yes, running backs obviously need to be quick, but you still need some strength in there as well. But he turned a lot of heads this preseason during this spring camp. I'm excited to see what he does. Obviously, long term, he's going to be in the building, hopefully. Lord knows with transfer portal, good Lord, can't even stand it. So we'll see. But he is the future for the squad, obviously. He's already been in the building under Satterfield. He's got that rep. He's still young, plenty of years to go with him. It'll be interesting to see what we did. He did get some action last year. Obviously, once Pryor got hurt, he played in the bowl game, the Liberty Bowl, I do believe. So he's got some experience. He's got some snaps. Nothing extreme that he's done yet, but hey, there's still plenty of time. And then you got Zylan Perry, a transfer in senior. He played 2 years at the Louisiana Raging Cajuns down there. He ran for 1,400 yards in that time, 12 total touchdowns. But one thing that I really like is that he doesn't have a fumble yet in his college career. He's holding on to the football. Ball security, obviously, one of the biggest things you could ask for out of a running back is you don't want them turning the ball over. So it's exciting to see. I'm hoping that streak continues. Since Cincinnati as a whole has been very blessed with running backs over the years, minus the Jeremy Hill incident against Pittsburgh Steelers, but, we don't talk about that as Bengals fans. So, obviously, Joe Mixon at the time had one of the longest streaks of no fumbles. Corey Kiner did not lay the ball down on the turf. He might have had, I think, 3 fumbles his whole career, maybe. Evan Pryor, I think, had 2. So, we're not putting the football on the ground, and I am excited to see him come in. I expect him to get a decent share of the snaps through after offseason workouts and camp. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that'll kind of take over a little bit. Same way with the other senior that they brought in, Jabrian Payne, 5'10", 205-pound running back. He's a local boy, for those of you who may have recognized that name. He went to LaSalle High School. Went out and played in Notre Dame. He did get a degree from Notre Dame. He missed 2024 due to being hurt, so he's got that extra year. That's why he's back here in Cincinnati, thanks to Corey Kiner. Corey Kiner went to Roger Bacon here in Cincinnati, local legend. So is Jabrian Payne. Kiner actually convinced Payne to finish out his career and come back to Cincinnati. So, hey, thank you for the years of playing, Mr. Kiner, and thank you for helping, get guys back in the building. Local talent, especially around Cincinnati, is a hotbed of football schools. I love Cincinnati. It's not Texas football, but Cincinnati football is its own breed, like Texas has their own breed. And I'd say the last 15 years has been just turning out football players left and right. And the fact that we get to see him here in Cincy is honestly very exciting. He only rushed for about 400, about 450. 450 last year for his last season. Obviously, he wasn't making huge waves. However, Notre Dame, obviously Jeremiah Love and all those guys, they have a running back room that has been loaded for years. Just maybe didn't get to see the field. He'll get that chance here in Cincinnati. He's obviously one of the elder statesmen in the room. I do expect him to also be one of those, separate himself and get a lot of carries next season, so you'll have to keep your eye on him. And our final one, Cole Tabb, is a redshirt sophomore, about 5'9", 200 pounds, solid running back. Not the tallest, but still, I like seeing the 2 to 210, 220 range for running backs on weight. Obviously, healthy weight. I really like seeing running backs that can pass block. Obviously, these guys can catch a ball out of the backfield. Cole Tabb did catch a lot coming out of the backfield during his college career. He played 2 years at Stanford out there in California, had 445 yards and 3 touchdowns as the number 2 running back last season. He was sidelined late in camp this year. Obviously, a little bit of, just banged up, which nothing extreme to write home about, but they obviously are going to make sure they keep guys healthy, especially for the spring camp and things like that, going into the summer. You want guys healthy and in shape going into fall camp. So he will get his action for sure. I don't necessarily know how much of it will be. They may end up redshirting him and going with three running backs. Obviously, they have the longevity with the young talent, Tab, and our other gentleman, Johnson, staying in town. Probably see the seniors be the lead backs, but who knows? Satterfield may get into camp and get a hair in his crawl and just decide, you know what? I'm going to shake things up. Tab, you're going to be the starter, whatever the case may be. If they've earned the chance and they've outshined, you got to put them in and you got to play them. The best need to be on the field, plain and simple. It's the same way when I coach. Make it to where I can't take you off the field. It should be every coach's mentality because that's going to leave it in the players' hands to go out there, perform, and really be make themselves stay on the field. And these guys have that opportunity. So it'll be exciting to see. Can't wait to go over more of it in detail. And honestly, we've got a lot to be excited about. There's a lot of young talent on this team, but there are guys with experience that can help mold that. And one of our questions coming into us today came from Glass Eaters 110, 11OL. Come in with our question today. And their question was, why do athletes on NIL need to worry about school when you're making that much money? Is class really that important? Question mark. I think it's a fair question to be asked. I actually do like this question very much because there is such a discussion of, well, if I'm making this much money, why am I worried about a degree? Let's start with a little bit of eligibility to kind of answer this question. So they need to worry about school. The colleges are not going to be paying these kids money if they're not eligible, if they're not going to school, because that's what you're essentially there to do. You're there to be a student athlete. Students first, you're there to go to school. Your first year to remain eligible, you got to have at least 6 credit hours and maintain a 1.8 GPA going into year 2. Once you get to your second year, you must have 40% of your degree requirements met. And you also must have a 1.9 GPA going into year 3. Your third year, 60% of degree requirements. And then you have to have a 2.0 GPA or higher moving forward for those remaining years. And by your fourth year, 80% of degree requirements must be covered, 2.0 GPA. Now, the GPA side of it, not that hard to get a 2.0. You really do not have to struggle or worry to get a 2.0. And plus, these guys are only taking like 12, 13 credit hours. They're not bombarding their schedule. I myself made that mistake in college. When I played baseball, I took 18 credit hours. I loaded up that class schedule, and it burnt me out. So these guys aren't taking that many credit hours. They'll take some summer courses to help lighten the load during regular, like the fall semester. But it's really not that hard to stay eligible. Now, obviously, you got to stay eligible to play, and that's how you make your money, by playing. They still need to go to class. They still have to should be getting that degree because there's no guarantee you're going to get drafted. And honestly, a majority of college players don't get drafted. You look at the math, 1% of all athletes make it to the college level. And then 1% of that 1% is who's getting drafted and who's making NFL rosters. It's not a guarantee that you will continue making that much money. Yeah, you may make, take Brendan Sorsby. You may make $5 million your senior year after taxes and all that. You'll probably see $2.5 million. $2 million, yeah, it's a lot of money, but you're not talking about lifelong wealth. You're not talking about never needing to work again. So, yes, I think that they do need to worry about school because there's got to be a future for them. And the degrees that they earn, ideally, one would hope, can help them be successful after football. So we can throw it to the wind and say they play 1 year, make, $1 million, and then they're not eligible. So what do they do? But that also spreads towards the NFL. They're going to ask coaches, hey, what was this guy like? Well, he didn't go to class. He just did enough to stay eligible, just barely did enough. He was more worried about, making his money and playing. And I don't think that's going to look well to NFL coaches. Now, the other side of that, you may say, well, what if they say, well, he's focused on football. We like that. We want him in the building focused on football. There are things that have to go into that. You don't just play football as an NFL player. You do work in the community. You stay active. give back. Obviously, they have all these initiatives to help with the community and do things. Like the Bengals have the Free Store Food Bank, just for an example, Ted Karras Foundation. They all do things outside of football. So it can't just be that. Does every player? No. Did some players just play? Yes. But athletes need to worry about their school and academics because that is why you are there. No matter how much money you make, when you sign that contract, you're going to be a student athlete, which means you've got to uphold the student end of the bill. No ifs, ands, or buts. You got to be eligible to play. You got to play to make your money. So they go hand in hand. And honestly, I appreciate your question, Glass. I hope I was able to answer it pretty detailed for you. If you guys have any other questions, comments, thoughts, throw them down in the comments section for me. And we'll continue doing fan questions. Really enjoy getting to interact a little bit with y'all. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you to Fan Arch for making this video possible. Hit that subscribe button, and we will see y'all next time. Cheers.